Hey everyone, welcome back to the Stoner Car Care YouTube channel. Today we're going to be answering one of the questions we get the most about our invisible glass pro grade ceramic, and it's how many windshields can you do? So we're going to start off, we're going to strip this windshield and then we're going to coat it, and in the background you'll see we have everyone stripping the windshield on all the collection here. So we're going to keep going through all the windshields and keep treating until we run out of our 30 ml bottle of invisible glass pro grade ceramic. All right, just like with any ceramic coating, the prep is most important. So let's get this windshield prepped up before we start putting the coating onto there. First step, get the windshield clean before we strip it. I know it kind of seems redundant because we're about to strip the windshield while you're cleaning it, but this is to make sure there's no foreign contaminants on there. Like let's say there was like a metal shaving that had ended up on your windshield. The glass stripper won't scratch your windshield, but that metal shaving, if you were rubbing it back and forth, could scratch your windshield. So this is just a preliminary step just to make sure you don't have any major foreign materials on here before we go through with the glass stripper. Got the windshield with that preliminary clean. Now I'm gonna break out the glass stripper here. Kit comes with the glass stripper and the applicator sponge. We have a lot of people ask us, well, this is if you're doing this many windshields, wouldn't it just be easier to put this on like a DA? Yeah, you can use whatever pad you want. We just include this to make it convenient for you. Just shake it up a little bit. Put this on the applicator, and just gonna do a little bit of elbow grease here. That doesn't normally happen, but hey, everyone makes mistakes. Get that off in a minute. And you can see where this is pulling away. There's a coating already on this windshield. So you kind of keep scrubbing until that stops pulling away. And that's how you know the coating's gone. So, see it keeps pulling away there. And you're just gonna keep scrubbing until that doesn't happen anymore. And then that's how you know you've removed the old coating. You're down to a factory reset glass, and you're able to put on a fresh coating, and they'll have good adhesion to the glass. As you can see, coating's pretty cooked on this side, so there's not too much that has to be done on this one. Kind of a work cut out for us that this coating has been used and abused. All right, now here's one of the steps that a lot of people get tripped up on the glass stripper. So if you do like one side at a time, usually this glass stripper stays wet enough that you can kind of rinse it off with a hose. But once it dries like this, and it's like chalkier, it's really hard just to rinse off. You spray it and you get the excess, but it's still stuck there. So you need some kind of abrasion, like a towel or some sort, to wipe that off. So what I found is the most effective way of doing this, just get some microfiber soaking wet, and you just take it and you just wipe over the glass stripper, and then we'll come to the second one, wipe over it, and that's way easier cleaning it. I get some people leaving reviews like, I can never get this off my windshield. Well, if you're just using a hose, yeah, you're gonna need some kind of thing to put some pressure to re-moisten that and then wipe it away. So if you're having trouble getting it off, give that a try. Then you just come by with a dry one, dry it off, and this coating is gone. So, well, you can see I missed some spots here, but to be honest with you, we're doing 15 of these things today. They don't have to be perfect. We're just trying to show you how much you use in these glass stripper bottles. So in Skylar's car here, I mean, he works here, he can do it again. All right, now we're just gonna do one final pass with the invisible glass just to make sure all that glass stripper's free and clear. Make sure this is a perfectly prepped windshield. Anytime doing glass, you usually have two towels, a wet one, dry one. So the dry one comes by, polishes it up. All right, got fresh, clean glass, down to a factory reset. Let's put a ceramic coating on it. So we got the invisible glass ceramic here. The kit comes with everything you need to do the job. So I'm gonna pull that out. Has a guide here that's gonna teach you how to do it if you never did it before. 2 microfibers, the gloves, the applicator, and the vial. We're gonna be going through this entire vial today to tell you how many windshields you can do. Now keep in mind, there's gonna be a few variables that are kind of hard to control here, because let's say we go and do 15 Ford Focuses. Don't think that means it's gonna get 15 Suburbans out. It has a larger surface area. So take this with a grain of salt. We're doing an average just to show you how far the bottle goes, but surface area is a big deal. So if you're doing smart cars or Suburbans, the number's gonna be different. But we're gonna give you an average on just a generic run of square footage of windshields that we have in our collection here. One other variable that we're not completely controlling, we're gonna use the same applicator, just because it would be a lot to burn up an applicator on every single one of these. But every time you moisten this applicator, it takes up some of the ceramic coating just to make it moist enough to be able to apply. So you might use a little bit more ceramic if you were doing one and then waiting a day, using a new applicator, doing another one. So there's a couple variables in there. We're not trying to hide from that, just trying to give you a general idea. Hey, you pour the ceramic on here, you can do a windshield, you can do another windshield, another one. We're gonna go through that right now. All right, windshield number one. Crack this sucker open. We're gonna apply the ceramic onto the applicator here. Oh, about that much. And I usually like to spread the product out pretty good there. And then we're going to do a cross-hatching pattern where we go back and forth. And then up and down. Don't lift the pad when you're doing this. You're trying to just glide it over the surface. It might seem like a small detail, but every time you lift the pad, it's going to leave a little spot where it almost looks like the pad wicked away some of the ceramic coating, and it'll create a little mark. So I usually like to wipe around the whole area and then stop with one of those marks. And then if you need to, you can kind of like blend that. It's kind of hard to get that, so I'll usually put it like a lower part of the windshield. And then make sure you wipe that part with a microfiber. But let me jump on the passenger side. Moisten the applicator here. And this is the part that I was talking about that might be a variable we're not completely controlling, because it just takes a little bit less ceramic to re-moisten this applicator once it's been wet once. So it's gonna go a little bit farther than it would in the real world, but I think we're still gonna get quite a few vehicles out of this bottle. One of the nice parts about this invisible glass ceramic, when we created it, we were looking at how do we improve on the ceramic offerings that are already out in the marketplace. And one thing that we noticed is that a lot of people were worried about developing a high spot, and typically that comes from the coating curing very quickly. So you'll see that it's starting to rainbow. That's your trigger to let you know, hey, it's time to start removing this, because that's the solvent evaporating out of it. And we still need a little bit of that solvent to spread as we're blending it all together here. So with the solvent that we're using in our invisible glass ceramic, long story short, it just doesn't evaporate as fast. So it gives you a little bit more time to work with this. Or in a professional environment, you can do larger surface areas before you have to go back and polish it up. All right, so we include two microfibers here, a light gray and a dark gray, or black. The light gray has a taller pile to it, and then the black has a shorter pile. You see, it's just not as long. So use the light gray one to wipe up first, because it's going to pull the excess solvent and excess product away from the surface. And then we're going to use the black one as like a final finish polish. So it's pretty simple. You just wipe back and forth. There's no real magic to this. Just make sure you're not missing any of the spots. If you don't have good lighting, you can't see where you're wiping, just make sure you're doing a grid pattern to cover all your bases here. So that's the first wipe, and to finish it off, second wipe. And just like that, we have a 1-year coating on our windshield here. So now we're gonna go do that a lot more times. Windshield number 2. For everybody screaming, put the wiper blades up on this. I can't put the wiper blades up on this right now. I could pick them up, but I don't have anything to hold them up at the moment. And to be honest with you, we're trying to get the shoot done in like 3 hours before we have a meeting to go to. So ain't nobody got time to take all the wiper blades off these things. All right, 2 windshields down. I'm not gonna go through the whole process of removing it every time. Skylar and JC are helping out and chasing me as I put the application on, and they're gonna go by and polish this off. So 2 cars down. We're just below the label here now. So now we're going on to our 3rd car. Put the steering back on. All right, this one's a little different. We're reapplying, and I'm trying to use the same amount that I'm doing. It's probably like a, I don't know, upside down 5-second pour I'm doing here. We're not being stingy about the amount of strength I put on here. We're just not going through it that fast. All right, windshield number 4. Now we're at probably the top of the barcode here. So reapply. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th car here. We're going to fly back on here. Keep in mind, some people like to double up the coating. So you could wait 4 hours and put another coating on the windshield. So if you want to do 2 coatings, you might end up having to do that, but we also have a meeting here in 3 hours we gotta get the shoot done for. So we don't quite have the 4 hours right now to go for double coatings on ones. That's why we're doing so many vehicles. But we're also running out of vehicles here to do, so we'll see how long this goes. We're not even halfway through the bottle yet. This is going pretty long today. All right, so car number 6. Here we go. All right, so we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now onto the black wing, which is vehicle number 7. We're getting close to halfway on this bottle right now. And for any of you wondering why I do a big X to start this, you can imagine that the pad is most moist when you first touch a windshield. So I usually just spread the product out to most parts of the windshield. That way when I go back and forth, it's kind of re-hitting a spot, moistening the pad again. Not 100% necessary, but blends the product really well. Seven vehicles done, and I wish I could peel the label back here, but we are about halfway down the bottle. To be honest with you here, I don't think we have enough time to finish this bottle before our meeting. So I think we're gonna go back, hit our meeting, then we're gonna go back through and we're just gonna double up and put 2 coats on each one of these vehicles because we're gonna run out of vehicles here and we got a lot to prep. So we'll see you guys in a few hours. All right, we're back and we still have about half of this bottle to go. So we're gonna go back through the same cars we just did and we're gonna put a second coat on them. So we did break out a new applicator for this one because after you let them go, it'll start to cure and they get a little bit crispy. So fresh one here, and we'll start on Skylar's windshield and work our way back. Anytime you're doing a second coat, you want to wait usually about 4 hours for that first coat to cure up good and proper before you go back and do a second coat. And for anyone curious to how to do the second coat, you do the first coat completely. You want to make sure you wipe it off like we said. I've heard of some people thinking you just apply it, let it sit for 4 hours and put another one on. You have to take it off, the excess, like we did with the microfibers. And then you come back 4 hours later, just like from square one, and you just apply the ceramic coating again right over top of the area you just applied to. So now that driver's side of the windshield's been double coated, and when you go back over the second time, you can definitely feel it's much more slick when you're applying it. Apply it onto here again. This was, so we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vehicles, 8. Now this is number 9. Apply it onto here. And anytime you kind of did what we just did, where you just left for 4 or 5 hours and then come back and reapply, when you seal up this glass ceramic, you want to make sure you seal it really tight, because this is going to cure with water molecules in the air. So the more that this solution is exposed to the air, the faster it's going to cure inside that bottle. So one thing you'll notice, when you're pouring this on the applicator, if you get a little bit on that glass threading on the outside of the bottle, and then you screw the cap on, you come back, it'll look like it has like these little crystals all over the threads of the bottle here. And once I hands free, I'll point to it here. It'll have like these little crystals build up. That's just cured ceramic, so don't really worry about that. You should just take a microfiber, wipe that off. Typically it's just because it's kind of running down through the cap here, but don't be afraid when you see, when you go back to reuse your ceramic after it's given some time, if it crystallizes like that. Now we're on vehicle number 10. We are halfway down the barcode and the label here. I probably should just take this label off here so you can see it easier, but maybe I'll do that for the next vehicle. All right, vehicle number 11. I tried to peel the label back for you guys. Well, got Skylar too. And shout out to our labels. They don't come off too easy. So it's torn up a little bit now, but you see we are below half. We're getting there. Vehicle number 11. Let's do it. Windshield number 12 here. Windshield number 13. Here we go. Car number 14. We've still got some left in the bottle here, so. Applying it here. Like, I am desperately trying to use this whole bottle here because going back through all these is going to be brutal. But I'll show you. I'll walk over there and I'll show you the amount that's left in this. But we've still got some cars left to do. We are currently 14 cars deep right now, and we still got maybe like 1/8 of the bottle left there. So that was 14 windshields that we've done here, 7 vehicles, double coated. So now, of course, we didn't go through every single window. If you do that, it's going to add some surface area. You're not going to go 14 cars deep, but the question we do get specifically a lot is how many windshields can you treat? We've done 14, and we still have, I'll put the label back, about an eighth of the bottle left here. So I would say you're still definitely have one. If I'm being honest, probably 3 or 4 vehicles left in that. So you're looking at 15, 16, 17. Let's also call out that some of these classic vehicles we're doing, the windshields weren't quite as big as like a Suburban or something like that. Keep in mind the surface area that you're treating directly relates to how much you're going to get out of this. So if you own a Chevy dealership and you're going and treating all your Suburbans, it's not going to go as far as if you're treating a bunch of Ford Focuses. It's just how it's going to work. So just to try and give you guys an idea how far this product can go, and let us know down in the comments below what your thoughts are on it. Thanks for joining us in this one. We'll see you in the next one.